Good afternoon and welcome to the Coliseum pregame show on the Coliseum Sports Network. It's the first game of this Wednesday doubleheader. It's the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. The West Coast goes first today for this doubleheader due to some scheduling quirks, and it's win or go home for both of these Southern California teams. Now, Kennedy gets the call for San Diego. He was scratched from the Padres' loss against the Angels, where he was replaced by Tyson Ross. The Padres fell to the Angels 5-2. Now Kennedy steps to the bump as the difference maker in the Padres tournament hopes. Here's a look at their lineup. It'll be EVERTH CABRERA leading off and playing shortstop. Batting second will be the third baseman Yangervis Solarte. Batting third will be the right fielder Seth Smith. Batting fourth will be the catcher Yasmani Grandal. Batting fifth will be the left fielder Tommy Medica. Batting sixth will be the first baseman Yonder Alonso. Batting seventh will be the second baseman Jed Jerko. Batting eighth will be the center fielder Will Venable. And batting ninth will be the pitcher Ian Kennedy. Zack Greinke gets the start for the homestanding Dodgers, so here is their starting lineup. Leading off will be the second baseman D. Gordon. Batting second will be the shortstop, Hanley RAMIREZ. Batting third will be the right fielder, YASIEL PUIG. Batting fourth will be the first baseman, ADRIAN GONZALEZ. Batting fifth will be the left fielder, Matt Kemp. Batting sixth will be the center fielder, ETHIER. Batting seventh will be the third baseman, URIBE. Batting eighth will be the catcher, AJ Ellis. And batting ninth will be the pitcher, Zack Greinke. The winner will go on to face the loser of tomorrow's Astros-Giants matchup, while the loser is, of course, eliminated. It's perfect weather in Los Angeles, clear skies, mid-70s, so don't go anywhere. First pitch is coming up shortly on the Coliseum Sports Network. For this losers bracket matchup between the San Diego Padres and LA Dodgers. Boy, this one is Raymond Sims welcoming you back to the West Coast. The Western region will play first in this doubleheader, and we'll explain why shortly. But first, let's take a look at the San Diego Padres batting order to start things off. And it'll be Cabrera, Solarte, and Smith all getting started for the Padres. They will be taking on the number 2 starter for the Dodgers, Zack Greinke. In the regular season, 12-7 with a 2.71 ERA. He is a part of a Dodgers lineup that has just been tough from 1 to 5. So to start things off, wearing the throwback 1985 uniforms, here's EVERTH CABRERA. First pitch to Cabrera, a four-seamer in there for ball one, and we're underway from LA. EVERTH CABRERA making his first appearance in the Coliseum base after being put on the disabled list due to a left hamstring strain. And maybe it was best for him to take a break. before coming back off injury. He posted a .218 batting average, .256 on base per. So maybe coming off of the strain, he may very well be rejuvenated, but we'll see here. He's facing a 2-2 count against the pitcher Greinke. And he fouls off another one. So he's going to work early here against the starter. This one fouls way back into the crowd. EVERTH, native Nicaraguan. Able to put this one in play. It will roll into the glove of Gordon, and he does not get him out in time. Cabrera is very ball against him. You have to be quick on your feet. Majestic for the Dodgers. D. Gordon over there at second base was able to field the ball, was not able to get the out. And that'll bring up Yangervis Solarte, who was not a Padre at the time that EVERTH Cabrera went on the DL. And yet here he is in the 2 spot. First pitch to Solarte, a curveball. The nephew of Roger Cedeno was traded to San Diego along with Rafael DePaula, a minor leaguer, for third baseman Chase Headley and cash. So you can imagine where Solarte starts. Third baseman, and he has found himself at the front of the lineup ever since he's gotten to. Change up outside at the knees. 2 balls, 1 strike. Solarte went 0 for 3. Able to draw a walk. But that was about it. San Diego's going to need all the offense they can get in this game if they want to win. And this one hit high in the right field. It's sailing to the warning track. And under it is Puig for out number 1. So it looked like big trouble there. Some good distance out of that ball from Solarte, but in the end, it's just another loud out. And here's Seth Smith, the right fielder. Smith was able to get a double in the loss to the Angels. Padres have not had to use up a lot of gas, which is a good thing in California, as Smith pops up to Ellis for out number 2. Padres so far in this tournament have taken on the Angels in Anaheim and are now here at Chavez Ravine. And that's considering that they're in San Diego, which itself isn't too far from either of these stadiums. So no charter planes needed for these guys. Strike to Yasmani Grandal, who's next up at the plate. Grandal hit an RBI single. One of only 2 runs the Padres were able to generate. And just on the general level, the Padres have struggled this season. Grandal puts this one in play, and it's trapped by Ramirez, but he can't do much else with it. So that'll probably be a base hit as Cabrera advances to second, and Grandal is on. See what the score says, if anything. If he doesn't say anything, it's a base hit. So But it does confirm it's a base hit, so Grandal's on with a single. Cabrera is at second, and the Padres looking for some early offense. Medica puts ball to bat, and it lands in left field. A missed dive by Kemp will put that ball against the wall. That'll bring home Cabrera, and that'll bring home Solarte, and it is a 2 RBI triple for Tommy Medica. So a Padres team that has struggled with offense all year long is able to get some early offense here against the Dodgers. Slider to Yonder Alonso in there for a strike. Now last night we did see a stronger team go down to a hungrier team as the Mariners knocked off the Athletics in Oakland to eliminate them. So the Padres are going to see if they can do the same here to the Dodgers, a team many look at as winning the NL West pennant. But nothing more will be happening here in the first inning as Alonso goes down on strikes. So a couple runs come in off the RBI triple, and now we'll see if the Dodgers can respond in kind here in the bottom of the first. Welcome back to Los Angeles. Here's a look at the batting order for the Dodgers. Gordon, Ramirez, and Puig all due up. They'll be taking on Ian Kennedy, finally getting his first start here in the tournament. Was going to start the first game and didn't. So now here he is against the Dodgers. It'll be on him to pitch a good game and get his team to advance. And here's a look at the defensive lineup for the Padres, presented by Majestic. And here is D. Gordon leading things off for the Los Angeles Dodgers. First pitch he takes is a ball low and away. Huge swing and a miss on the two-seamer. 1 ball, 1 strike. For the remainder of the tournament, the uniform restrictions have been loose. So teams the rest of the way can pick whatever they want, rather it's the manager's choice or the pitcher's choice. But for the Dodgers, they don't exactly have the luxury of a bunch of different jerseys. They only have their road grays and their home whites. As Gordon goes down on strikeout. So of course, they just decided to stick with home white, while the Padres went ahead and wore their 1985 road throwbacks. Well, here's the shortstop, Hanley Ramirez. First pitch he takes is a Vulcan change inside for strike 1. Two-seamer in. Dodgers embarrass in against the Minnesota Twins, which has put them in this position with their backs against the wall. Dodgers actually possess a lot of power with the bat. It's going to be incumbent on them to utilize it. Looks like they won't here. Cabrera rounds it up just in front of his spot at short, and he's able to get the out. So here's the wild horse, YASIEL PUIG, stepping up to the plate. First pitch he sees, he fouls off. Puig actually had a pretty good game in the midst of the loss. He had a single, a double, and 2 walks to finish 2 of 3 on the day. See if he can bring any magic here against Kennedy today. Tied up on that swing. In the hole 0-2. And here's the pitch. Tied up on that one as well. Strikeouts bookend the 3 up 3 down inning from Ian Kennedy. And so it is 2-0 heading into the top of the second. You're watching the Coliseum Baseball Tournament on the Coliseum Sports Network. Zack Greinke gave up 3 hits in the first inning. So that with Jed Jerko stepping up to the plate, he's going to hope to not do that again. Cutter in there for a strike. Jed Jerko batted 8th in that game against the Angels. 2 strikeouts, 0 for 4. Didn't get to take his cuts until the 3rd inning. In that game against the Angels, he was coming fresh off of the disabled list. So we'll see if a little more time and development, both in the tournament and the regular season games that his team has played in between times, may have improved things for him as he fouls off that pitch. And he'll look at strike 3, and he'll take his seat. Backwards K for Zack Greinke. That's his 2nd strikeout. You can just see the grimace of disappointment and pain on Jerko's face as he will head back to the dugout. Here's Will Venable. Venable, 1 for 3 against the Angels. He hit a single, and then the other 2 times he struck out. Takes a huge cut and misses there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Along with essentially the rest of the team, Venable's been struggling with this hitting. 229 on the season for Venable. And he's played the most games of anybody. Curveball lands in the dirt before it gets to the glove. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Princeton grad, just like the rest of the Padres, just looking to get back on track with the bat. And they did that in the first. Check swing, appeal to 3rd. And he went around. That's another strikeout. That's 3 straight Ks for Zack Greinke. So now we come to the pitcher spot. Here's Ian Kennedy. First pitch to him, a fastball in there for a strike. It's always interesting to see how pitchers will approach other pitchers. Sure, it's more fun to take on pitchers that have only played in the American League and are forced to bat in interleague games as opposed to National League pitchers that do take a couple of swings every now and again. Kennedy fouls that one off. 4 for 35 when he's had to take to the plate. And he'll pop up here to Ellis easily for out number 3. So 3 up, 3 down. 1 strikeout looking, 1 strikeout swinging, and a pop-up to close out the inning. So much better for Greinke than the first inning. It's still 2-0 heading into the bottom of the second. Adrian Gonzalez stepping up to the plate. The native of San Diego, the former Padre, going to have to take down his own hometown team. Gonzalez had 100 RBIs, even 100. Currently has 72 right now as we head into the dog days of the season. Two-seamer, low and outside for ball 2. Yep, getting to that time of year in baseball. We're in waiver trade season. So who knows what other moves might be up in the sleeve of some teams. Haven't heard much out there on the grapevine. Nothing that has affected any tournament teams, at least not yet. And then after that deadline is up, then we'll have roster expansion for that final month of the season. But then the fun starts when the actual Major League postseason comes around. Of course, at this time of the season, maybe has you dozing off. Worry not, the Coliseum baseball tournament running through late August. And Gonzalez will take his base as Ian Kennedy walks him after throwing 2 strikeouts in his first frame. So here comes Matt Kemp up to the plate. Kemp with 0 for 3. Did reach base twice, both on fielder's choices. That game was played on a day on, and Matt Kemp was surely a part of a lot of trade deadline rumors. He's seemed very unhappy with the fact that he's been in left and not in center. So he said that he probably would not have minded a change of scenery, but that day has passed and Kemp remains, hits it weakly, and it looks like he's grounded into a double play. So we'll take a look at it on replay here. Kemp hits weakly. Jerko able to scoop it up and initiate the double play with ease. So the on-base issue resolved itself for Ian Kennedy, and Andre Ethier, dealing with empty bases, hits this one into right field. It's traveling to the bullpen, to the warning track, and it's caught by Seth Smith. He had to chase it down, and he does just that. So it's still 3 up and 3 down, and the Dodgers are hitless. After the pop-up by the pitcher, that leaves us to restart the lineup. Here's EVERTH Cabrera, who hit a single his last time up, and he eventually came home off the 2 RBI triple by. So just like in the first inning, it'll be Cabrera, Solarte, and Smith all due up. Swing and a miss by Cabrera on the fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one hit down the line, and it's fair. And it's played by Gonzalez for out number 1. So here's Yangervis. He flew out in the top of the first. One ball and 1 strike. Curveball drops in front of the plate. 2 balls, 1 strike. For all the hitting woes that the Padres have, and hitting woes they are last in the major leagues in batting average and team batting average at .224. Solarte's small sample size actually looks pretty good in comparison. In 13 games, he's batting .296 with 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. But it's just a matter of getting the rest of the team on board as he fouls this one back. 2-2 count to Yangervis, the 27-year-old Venezuelan. And he goes down on strikes to Greinke. That is K number 4 for Zack Greinke. And after giving up a couple of runs, he has been dealing. So it's a good thing that the Padres were able to get their runs early, as they are, playing ahead instead of having to catch up now that Greinke seems to be in his groove. We'll see for how much longer as Seth Smith steps up to the plate. And Smith pops this one high into right field, and Puig able to chase it down, almost with ease. So another 3-up, 3-down inning for Zack Greinke, but the Padres are still ahead, 2-0. Welcome back to Long. 9 hitters in the lineup. That's URIBE, Ellis, and Greinke. Dodgers looking for their first hit of the game. Adrian Gonzalez drew a walk back in the second, but otherwise that's been about it. 2 strikeouts so far for Ian Kennedy. He's behind in the K race, but I'm sure he's glad he's pitched this gem so far. Not always about strikeouts, just about pitching the best game you can. And URIBE pops this up down the line. It is almost playable, but it veers into the crowd. And Smith chooses not to dive for it. And a 2-seamer swing and a miss by URIBE. That's strikeout number 3. Let's take a look at it again on replay. Just too little too late on the swing by URIBE. And here's the catcher, A.J. Ellis. Ellis puts this one in play, drops into left field, and we'll see if he can pick up extra bases. He'll turn the corner, and he will come into second standing up. So 1-out double for A.J. Ellis. I was just going to talk about his lack of power with the bat. He has yet to record a triple or a home run this season. However, he does come in with 7 doubles. And he gets a hit right when he needs to. So 1 out, Ellis in scoring position, and here's the pitcher, Zack Greinke. And Greinke pops up. Grandal's under it. And he'll get out number 2. And here's D. Gordon to restart the lineup. This 3rd inning is the first time the Dodgers have had more than 3 batters come up to the plate. So here's the 4th, D. Gordon, with 2 outs and Ellis on second. 2-0. Going to get back ahead. The winner of this game stays alive. The other one goes home. Whoever goes home does not have very far to go. Might take a while in traffic, but in terms of mileage, just not far to go. 1 ball, no strike to Gordon. Here's a pitch from Kennedy. Change up in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kennedy can't get Gordon to chase the fastball outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Swung on and missed on the fastball, and now Gordon's on the snide. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gordon looking to advance Ellis. Gordon fouls off the payoff pitch. And he'll stay alive. Looking to go to battle here against Kennedy and get on base. Because once Gordon gets on base, that's where it gets really dangerous. The 3-2 again. Fouls that one off. And a lot of instances throughout this tournament, when we've seen pitcher-batter duels, the pitcher has eventually come out in favor after he's been able to fool the batter on just the right pitch. But that won't happen on that one. If Gordon gets on, Hanley Ramirez will be up next. Tied up inside, gets Gordon to swing. And another inning booked ended by strikeouts. So the Padres still holding court, 2-0 heading to the top of the 4th. Here's Yasmani Grandal stepping up to the plate. Got a single his last time up, eventually came home. Got a single and eventually came home in the game against the Angels. That single was also an RBI. 1 for 4 on that day. Looking to have a better one here. Padres were able to get some offense early, but since then it has been shut down ball by both pitchers. Now, we saw that in the Seattle-Oakland game between Asashi Iwakuma and Jeff Samardzija, and then between innings there in the middle of the game, somebody just flipped a switch because both pitchers just struggled, and then it became a slugfest back and forth that the Mariners eventually came out on top with. So we'll see how long these pitching stalwarts can hold up against these batters. This one put in play but lined out to Gonzalez for out number 1. And here's Tommy Medica. He's currently the reason the Padres are ahead with that 2 RBI triple. He himself was not able to come home. Still a job well done on his part. He takes a ball inside. Slider outside. He'll take ball 2. And he'll take the 4-seamer. 3 balls and no strikes. Medica's only played in 65 regular season games due to injury. He was able to get a double and struck out twice in the game against the Angels. And he'll take his base here. Greinke cannot get Tommy Medica out. I suppose the mandate was to pitch around him. Didn't want Medica getting that extra base hit. So Medica's on. And here's Yonder Alonso, who struck out his last time up. 1 out. Man on first. Here in the top of the 4th. Another ball thrown by Greinke. So he had 2 innings of good baseball. And after getting the first batter to line out, he's having trouble getting out number 2. 4-seamer too high. Medica was going for it on the stolen base, but Alonso swings, so either a miscommunication or a very awkward hit and run. Here's a 2-1. And it looks like hit and run as Alonso swings again. No hit and run that time. It's a strikeout instead. So there's out number 2. Seemed semi-elusive there at the beginning of that at-bat, coupled with the walk that Greinke gave to Medica. But Greinke able to turn it around. And he'll sit down Yonder Alonso looking. That's 2 strikeouts. And that'll bring up Jed Jerko, who himself struck out. He was the second in a string of 3 strikeouts. And there's out number 3 as Medica's caught stealing. So we'll get back to Jed Jerko in the 5th. But for now, the Padres lead 2-0. Here's Hanley Ramirez, grounded out his last time up, and takes ball 1. He had himself a heck of a game. Two singles, a double. But then as the Twins bullpen came in to handle the Dodgers, Ramirez shut out with a strikeout and a flyout. He'll put this one down the line. It's fair, tight roping along the line. And Ramirez will get extra bases here as that one is misplayed by Medica. So I want to say that's a double, but I am thinking the scorer might go single and then reaching on second due to an error. But in the meantime, here's YASIEL PUIG. And I suppose we'll find out the decision in due time. Puig check swing, but in there for a strike. YASIEL Puig struck out his last time up, taking some bad swings inside. We'll see if he'll have better vision this time. Fouls off a pitch outside. Already in the hole, 0-2. He'll actually take a pitch this time, a two-seamer for ball one. And that changeup up and out in the zone. And that's another strikeout, a backwards K this time for YASIEL Puig. So that'll be out number one as ADRIAN Gonzalez comes up to the plate. And look how it drops right into the zone. Right into that corner. One of those spaces that it's not a good pitch to hit, but it's in the zone, so you got to hit it. So here's Gonzalez. Four-seamer inside. Not good enough. Ball one. Gonzalez puts this one in play. Rounded up by Cabrera. That'll be out number two, but it advances Ramirez to third. So here's Matt Kemp, who grounded into a double play back in the second. This at bat important to put the Dodgers on the board. The team left A.J. Ellis stranded on second. So now with Ramirez at third, you don't want to strand another batter. Kemp puts this one right up the middle, and they won't strand Ramirez. He'll come home on the RBI single, and it's now 2-1. Kemp able to put his foot down and get a good hit right up the middle. So here comes ETHIER. Going to see if he can keep the inning going with 2 outs and Kemp on first. 2-1, Dodgers on the board. Two-seamer a bit too high. One ball, no strikes. This one put in play, but right to Jerko to close out the inning. So it's Kemp that'll be stranded at first, but the Dodgers do get a run on the board. It's now 2-1 heading into the top of the fifth. Top of the fifth, here's Jerko. He was up at the plate at the end of the fourth inning. But Tommy Medica, who got on base off of a walk, tried to steal and got caught. So Jerko will start off this inning now. See if he can generate some offense. Or some more offense. As the Padres were able to get 2 back in the first. Jerko struck out looking his last time up. The second in the midst of 3 consecutive strikeouts thrown by Zack Greinke. Cutter low and inside, 2 balls, 1 strike. Four-seamer inside, runs the count to 3-1. And that curveball breaks a little too hard. And there's another walk for Jed Jerko. Or there's another walk for Zack Greinke. Second walk surrendered to the game. So that's 5 strikeouts to 2 walks. And here's Will Venable, the Princeton grad. This one hit weakly, rounded up by Ellis. He's going to go for the play at first. And the out is made. So Jerko still advances to second. While Venable goes down 2-3. So 1 out with a runner on second. And here's the pitcher again. Popped up behind the plate his last time up. Going to see if he can contribute a little more this time around. One ball and 1 strike to Ian Kennedy. I'll take a 4-seamer outside. Now he's ahead in the count. Two-one slider inside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Ooh, 3-1. That could have been another walk for Zack Greinke, but Kennedy reaches for it. And now the count is full. Here's the 3-2. Fouls that one off, and we have a pitcher-on-pitcher duel. Kennedy fouls off another one. And this one right up the middle. So Kennedy will bring up another Padre home. Jed Jerko is out at the plate. Oh, it looked like it was going to be a run batted in, but that one gunned down from center field by ETHIER, able to round this one up. He throws all his might into the throw, and it gets there in time. So Kennedy's on with a single, impressive in itself. But he cannot bat in a run. It is still 2-1 as EVERTH CABRERA steps up to the plate. And Cabrera able to stay alive, fouling off that pitch, 2 balls. Kennedy at first with 2 out. Drop strike. Ellis completes the strikeout. Number 6 for Zack Greinke, and that'll wrap up the inning. It looked like trouble for the Dodgers, but some great fielding and great pitching, and it is still 2-1. Here's Juan URIBE to start off the 5th inning. Ian Kennedy has made up for lost time in the K race. He now has 5 to Greinke's 6, as this one's fouled off. Uribe puts it in play, rounded up by Cabrera, and an easy out, number 1. The Dodgers were able to put 1 on the board to cut the deficit in half, but now it's a matter of seeing if the Dodgers can put another run or more on the board. Here's pitch 51. From Ian Kennedy, a 2-seamer inside for ball 1. A.J. Ellis, 1 of 3 Dodger hits in the game. He was the first with that double. But he was left stranded at second. This one popped up in the air, should be playable in center. And the out made by Venable. Pitcher back up the hit. He takes a 2-seamer to start things off. Popped up his last time up. After seeing Ian Kennedy put a ball in play. Anything is possible here in this at-bat. 1 ball, 1 strike. Greinke 6 for 43 with 4 doubles. So Greinke not afraid to show off a little speed. See what he does here on the 1-2 pitch. He'll foul it off. Stay alive. The 1-2 again. And he will go down on strikes. That's number 6 for Ian Kennedy. So that ties him with the very pitcher he just struck out. And the Dodgers come up empty in the 5th. It's still 2-1 in favor of the Padres. A little over halfway through game 1 of this doubleheader. And here's Yangervis Solarte. Change up inside for ball 1. Zack Greinke has had a heck of a game. He's only given up 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. Just so happens that the opposing pitcher, Kennedy, has had a better game than him. Padres currently ahead 2-1. And Solarte looking to help extend that as that is fouled off. Doubleheader today. This is the first. It's gone first on a doubleheader day. 2-2 to Solarte outside to run the count full. Reason why is because the home cities kind of merged or meshed together. There's this game here in Los Angeles, and then there's a game in Chicago. This one in the dirt, and Ellis going to have to track it down, and he will not be able to get it as Solarte will draw a walk. So third walk given up by Greinke as it is getting kind of late here. And Don Mattingly understands that. He's going to bring out a new pitcher. So we'll have a pitching change. So Solarte will be the responsibility in terms of earned runs. But it'll be up to Jamie Wright to make sure that Solarte doesn't come home physically. So here's Seth Smith stepping up to the plate. Of all the Padres that qualify for this particular statistic, Seth Smith is the only Padre that is currently batting above 250. Now, there are some of the numbers I've espoused for other Padres throughout this game. Those Padres do not have enough plate appearances for your run-of-the-mill batting average leader statistic. This one hit hard into left center field, and it will drop. It'll get up against the warning track. And Solarte's coming all the way home, and he will not be challenged. So an RBI double by Seth Smith. And it's now a 3-1 game. And Grandal hits this one, rounded up by Gordon, outmade at first, but it still advances Smith. First out of the inning. Jamie Wright was recorded as the losing pitcher in that game, in that upset against Minnesota. He went 1 2/3 innings. Actually had 3 strikeouts. The problem was that he had put 2 twins on base that were his responsibility, and both of them eventually came home. Ball fouled off, 1 out, Seth Smith at third, and it's a 3-1 game in favor of the Padres. And this one fouled back. I didn't finish my original scheduling point. The selection or the competition committee for the Coliseum baseball tournament wanted it had 3-hour windows at least between start times in double headers. So having the average afternoon doubleheader would not have been plausible, since starting a game at noon in Chicago would have left only a 2-hour window before a 105 rather would have left a 105 2-hour window from the 105 start in Los Angeles. So the West Coast goes first, and the White Sox will host in the evening as this one pops up to D. Gordon for out number 2. Here's the first baseman, Yonder Alonso. He has struck out twice today, hoping that he won't do it a third time against a new pitcher. This one popped up in the air, goes foul. Two outs, man on third. Padres hoping to pad their currently 2-run lead. And Wright throws that pitch outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. This one hit weakly but foul. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yonder Alonso, hoping to keep the inning alive and give the Padres enough security as they look to knock off the favorite Dodgers. But Wright puts the curveball in there for ball 2. Alonso fouls off the breaking ball. They'll foul off another pitch here. The third edition of 2-2. Inside, runs the count full. And Alonso reaches on that one. Playable for Uribe, and he's able to chase it down. So the Padres do come out of it with a run, but only a run. And they're ahead by 2, 3-1, heading into the bottom of the 6th. Here's D. Gordon. He struck out twice. He had trouble getting going in the Minnesota game as well. He drew a walk in his 4th at-bat in the 7th inning of that game, and once he got on, he stole 2 bases. So we're in the 6th to lead things off. And we'll see if Gordon can get on base and cause some trouble. Looks like he won't. He'll pop up to first base, and that's out number 1. So here's Hanley Ramirez, who was able to get a double and then was eventually brought home on the single by Matt Kemp. He's going to need to make something happen again here. I'll take a 2-seamer outside. Ramirez will get this one into center field, and he's on with the single. So while most of the Dodgers have been struggling with the bat, Ramirez is now 2 for 3 on the afternoon. Two pitches, 2 balls. Here for YASIEL PUIG. Ramirez waiting at first with a standard leadoff. Hanley Ramirez with 12 stolen bases on the season. That's third on the team behind Carl Crawford's 13 and then D. Gordon's 51. So huge drop off from first to second in terms of stolen bases for this team. As a team, the Dodgers have 101. Or 102 rather. So Gordon has literally half of them. Puig hits this one high in left field. This one's traveling and it will drop. That is a home run. No, that's a ground rule double. Couldn't quite tell from this vantage point. I'm sure I'll get a better one here on this replay. That one was traveling and it looked like it was going to drop. And I thought it dropped in the bullpen. So it did drop at the warning track. And so that is a double. So Puig is on for the first time today after striking out twice. And Ramirez has moved to third. That's 2 runners in scoring position for ADRIAN Gonzalez. Gonzalez leading the team with 15 home runs. Here's the 0-1. As he'll foul that one off, and now he's in the hole 0-2. He's looking to swing. Curveball inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. With runners on second and third, Gonzalez batting .571. That is, he's 4 for 7. With 7 RBIs. No home runs, though. With runners in scoring position, in general, he has 4 home runs and a .288 average. So the probability of Gonzalez bringing at least one of them in looks fairly decent. But here's the 2-2. And this one will travel into right. That's playable. The out for Gonzalez, but he brings in a run on the sacrifice fly, and it's now 3-2. So here's Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp was able to bring home a run his last time up. That was Ramirez from second that he brought home. So he now has Puig at third. Dodgers looking to tie things up here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-seamer inside for strike 2. And this one hit weakly. Rounded up by the third baseman, and the out is made. So that's a runner stranded. And the Dodgers able to get another run, but just can't tie it up. So we head to the top of the seventh, 3-2 in favor of the Padres. Welcome back to Los Angeles. Here's a look at the game summary in case you're just joining us. The Padres got 2 runs in the first, and that's really been all that they've needed. As that two-run first has gone a long way. The Dodgers tried to chip away with a 1 run, and then the Padres got another one. And then the Dodgers in this last half inning were able to chip away again. But the Padres are at arm's length here as we head into the top of the 7th. Brandon League in the game. Gets Jet Jerko to foul off. Jerko struck out his first time up and then walked his second time up. Tried to come home on an Ian Kennedy single, but was struck down at the plate off of a throw from center. This one popped up. It'll be Gonzalez under it, and he's got out number 1. And here's Will Venable. He struck out and he's grounded out. And he'll take a slider. Second game of our doubleheader will present the Miami Marlins and the Chicago White Sox. Getting a little cloudy there, but no rain in the forecast in Chicago for this evening. This one put in play, diving stop by URIBE, and he's able to complete the out. Second ground out for Venable. And it has just not been his day. Let's take a look at this diving stop here. That would have been trouble if URIBE did not go for it. Gotta love the veteran and his hard play. So here's Ian Kennedy. We'll see how much longer he'll be in the game. This may very well be his final at-bat. He's going to look to make the most of it here. Kennedy hits this one to Ramirez, and that'll do it for the top of the 7th. It's time to stretch, people, as the Dodgers will come back, hoping to tie things up. ETHIER helped save a run by throwing out Jet Jerko at the plate from center field. And now here he is at the plate, hoping he can create a run and tie this game up. It's 3-2 in favor of the visiting Padres. Particularly crucial game here in the losers bracket of the Western region. The loser of this game goes home. Winner of this game will take on the loser of Astros Giants. So if the Dodgers are able to pull off the win, or if they do pull off the win, because if they lose, they go home. If they pull off the win, they'll get a third home game where they'll be hosting either the Astros or the Giants. This one popped up in the air. Grandal rips off the mask, chases it down, and he'll catch the pop out for out number 1. If the Padres win and the Astros lose that game, we'll be in San Diego at beautiful Petco Park. But if the Giants lose, then we will be in San Francisco, Padres against Giants. So here's URIBE, who made an amazing diving stop in the previous half inning. That was that inning's second out. 0 for 2 today. Hoping to change that. Won't do it on the Vulcan change. 1 ball, 1 strike. Another changeup. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And URIBE strikes out looking. Second strikeout of the game. At least he swung last time looking. And Kennedy heading into his completing his 7th inning of work, if he can successfully retire Ellis or somebody thereafter. He only has 82 pitches so far. Number 83, another changeup for strike 1. That one in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the Dodgers' previous loss, it was the starter that they feasted off of, and then the bullpen came in and played shutdown ball. Now the Dodgers are dealing with a dominant starter, but Ellis will put this one in play for the 2nd time today, as he's on with a single. A.J. Ellis in the regular season for the Dodgers is batting .194 in 53 games. And yet here he is with 2 hits in this game. And that'll do it for Ian Kennedy. So it'll be up to a new pitcher to get that 3rd out. But Kennedy is still responsible for Ellis. And here comes Nick Vincent into the game. Nick Vincent 0-2 with a 4.54 ERA. And we will have a pinch hitter for what would have been Brandon Lee stepping up to the plate. And that'll be Justin Turner. And the first pitch Turner sees is a cutter. Ellis on first, 2 out. Fastball up and outside for ball 2. Justin Turner, 308 on the year with 3 home runs and 12 doubles. And 23 runs batted in. Probably not going to bring in Ellis from first. unless the ball is just really that misplayed down the stretch. But another hit would do the Dodgers some good here in the bottom of the 7th. Two one fouled off. And this one popped up in the air, and that should be an easy out and right, and it is. So Turner cannot make the magic happen. Another runner stranded, and it's still 3-2 heading into the top of the 8th. So with League switched out and Turner, not a pitcher, into the game will come J.P. Howell. So here's EVERTH CABRERA. Stepping up to the plate. First pitch, a strike. Oh, Cabrera reaches on the fastball. That one was well out. Three pitches, 3 strikes, and Howell strikes out Cabrera. That's his 2nd K of the game. 2nd K of the game for Cabrera, that is. And the first one not dropped by the catcher. And here's Yangervis Solarte, who has yet to get it hit, but he got on base. So he's 0 for 2 with a walk. Curveball drops outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Here's the 1-0. Fouled off. Two balls and 1 strike as J.P. Howell seeks out number 2 against Yangervis Solarte, who has walked in this game but has also struck out. That one popped up. Playable. Gonzalez chasing it down, and he has room in that spacious foul territory. That's out number 2. And so that'll bring up Seth Smith. He's the last Padre to get on base, period. And that was back in the 6th inning. Going to see if he can do it again. He brought in a run with a double to keep the Dodgers at bay. He's going to take a sinker here. Just in that upper outside corner for strike 1. And that curveball. Just outside of the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. One ball and 2 strikes, and Howell is a strike away from retiring Smith. But we'll see if Smith, one of the best hitters on the team, can get out of this. Here's the 1-2. Change up too low. A little too inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. If Smith can reach, Grandal's due up next. Grandal 1 for 3, had a single back in the first. Sinker runs the count full. And not an easy out here is Seth Smith. Smith swings defensively at the payoff pitch. And a strikeout looking to end the inning. So Howell comes in, gets a strikeout, gets a pop-up, and another strikeout. We head into the bottom of the 8th. Dodgers still seeking a tie or take the lead. D. Gordon is by far one of the best base runners in baseball. The problem is he hasn't gotten on base in this game. He struck out his first 2 times up and then popped up back in the 6th. So in what could be his final at-bat of the game, if the Dodgers don't come back the tournament, he's going to look to get on and create some trouble. And this one will certainly drop into left field. And so D. Gordon, just like in the Minnesota game, finally gets on base in the late innings. He walked back in the 7th in that game against Minnesota, and he collects a single down the left field line here in the 8th, both in his 4th at-bats. So it takes a long time for D. Gordon to get percolating, at least in this tournament, but he is on. And again, he is one of the most dangerous base runners in baseball. Hanley Ramirez at the plate. Cutter on the inner half for strike 1. Nick Vincent still in the game. Going to see how much longer he can go. There's a look at Bud Black, hoping that he doesn't need to make another call to the bullpen. He'd be more than fine with leaving Vincent in the rest of the game. We'll see what happens here. 4-seam in inner half. And a cutter outside for ball 2. Nick Vincent, a native of the San Diego area. Born in Poway, went to high school in small-town Ramona. Both in San Diego County, with the 2-seamers outside. 3 balls, 1 strike. He was drafted by the Padres in the 2008 draft. After going to college both at Palomar and San Marcos, but then also coming up this way to go to Long Beach State. 3-1 from Vincent. Good enough to the umpire for a strike. Count is now full. Will Ramirez walk? Will he put it in play? He'll fight it off. 1 on, none out. And Ramirez looking to stay from being out number 1. First pickoff attempt. And Gordon is safe. Another payoff pitch. Puts this one in the air, traveling into right. And even Gordon would not be able to get the second on that one, as Ramirez is now 2 for 4 on the afternoon. So here's YASIEL Puig, struck out his first 2 times up. But was able to hit a double back in the 6th inning. We'll see which Puig comes out. The Dodgers are going to need the latter. First pitch he sees, he fouls off. That one well outside, a pitch out. Gordon doesn't go, however, slides back into first. One, high in the air to left, and Gordon will have to retreat to first. Second straight fly out for out number 2. And despite successfully getting 2 straight outs, Bud Black decides that's enough of Nick Vincent, who will be tasked with getting that final out. So here's ADRIAN Gonzalez. Slider inside for ball 2. Three to 2. Gordon waiting at first. He has not broken out to steal a base yet, as Gonzalez swings for strike 1. And Gonzalez just looking to keep the inning alive. The Dodgers are down by 1. And Gonzalez swings at a pitch low and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch from Thayer inside, runs the count full. You know, sometimes you'd expect a 2-2 pitch to go in for a ball, but you don't expect it to veer that inside. So Gonzalez dealing with the full count here. And anything can happen on this next pitch. Gordon goes for it, of course, as this one pops up in the air. Grandal should be under it. Gordon's still going to go in case it drops. And that is out number 3. So Thayer gets that one out that Bud Black wanted him to get. And it's still 3-2 heading into the top of the 9th. Yasmani Grandal made the last out at the end of the 8th. So he's going to look to see if he can get some insurance going here in the top of the 9th. He takes a ball from J.P. Howell. Change up in there for ball 2. And this one fouled off. Two-one put in play, but veers into right field and easy out for YASIEL PUIG. So here's Tommy Medica. Medica, the reason that the Padres have been at arm's length this entire game, as he brought in the first 2 runs for the Padres way back in the first. Here's the 0-1. Outer half of the plate on the changeup. No balls, 2 strikes. (0-2) fouled off. Once again, here's the 0-2. That one outside for ball 1. Change up in there, another ball. Howell looking to put away Tommy Medica on the 2-2. This one popped up high in the air, still traveling. ETHIER easily under it, and that's out number 2. And here is the first baseman, YONDER ALONSO. J.P. Howell looking to put Alonso away and give the Dodgers the opportunity to close this 1-run gap. Dodgers pitchers have been playing 3 up, 3 down since the 7th inning. Actually started in the 6th, though, with Jamie Wright coming in. Gave up a double, but that's charged to Greinke, and then the rest of the way it's pretty much just been retirement after retirement. Howell in business now, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Alonso with 2 strikeouts live. And he'll swing on this pitch, but it will line out to center. So another 3 up and 3 down inning. But the Padres just need to hang on defense, and they can move on to the next round and send the Dodgers packing. Joaquin Benoit enters the game in a save situation. As he's going to look to close things out against the homestanding Dodgers. The Dodgers fell to Minnesota 7-5 in extra innings. But the Padres making sure they don't need extras to get the win here. First pitch swung on into right field. Out is made by Seth Smith. So Kemp goes down rather quickly, and that'll bring up Andre ETHIER. ETHIER takes the changeup outside for ball 1. Four-seamer in there for a strike. Joaquin Benoit now designated as the team's closer with Houston Street moving up the freeway to Anaheim. Benoit only has 3 saves so far this season. This one hit weakly. And Alonso able to just tag ETHIER out on the base path. So here's Juan Uribe. Final out for the Dodgers. He struck out twice, went down swinging in the 3rd, and went down looking in the 7th. Gonna need a hit here to keep the Dodgers tournament hopes alive. If the Dodgers are able to come back here in the bottom of the 9th, they'll be able to host another game against the loser of Houston-San Francisco. Here's the 0-1. Foul tip on the pitch inside. No balls, 2 strikes. Down to the final strike. Benoit needing 1 more to put the Dodgers away. And there it is. A second backwards K. After getting 1 in the 7th, Uribe gets 1 in the 9th. And that'll do it for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the Coliseum baseball tournament. The Padres lose to the Angels, but they don't hang their heads low. They come back up to the LA area, and they get another win against the Dodgers instead. So they'll either be in San Francisco or they will be playing host to the Astros, but we'll find that out tomorrow. In the meantime, the Padres get a huge win. Kennedy had a remarkable performance, and Benoit will get the save for it, while Zack Greinke will be charged with the loss. Here's a look at that game. Runs scored by the Padres were all they needed to keep the Dodgers at arm's length, as pitching and defense carried them the rest of the way. So with all the excitement, bringing back flashes of 1985, bringing 85 back if you will, we'll now check out the top player of the game, Ian Kennedy. And as I said before, remarkable performance. 6 2/3 innings, only gave up 2 runs, only surrendered 1 walk, and struck out 7. And give him his baseball card moment, as he is the top player of the game. But that will do it for this presentation of the Coliseum Baseball Tournament on the Coliseum Sports Network, presented by SimsColiseum.com. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the Coliseum Sports Network on YouTube, and follow Sims Coliseum on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. So from Chavez Ravine, the Padres win 3-2 and advance to the 3rd round. Be sure to check out the second game of the doubleheader, as the Marlins will take on the White Sox later tonight. But until then, I'm Raymond Sims. Thank you for watching.